with the Marine Corps in 1798. 3 years later, on his inauguration day, President Thomas Jefferson named the Marine Corps Band the President's Own. And from then on, the band has performed at every presidential inauguration. Tonight, we're proud to welcome one of the 12 Marine Corps field bands, the United States Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center Band from 29 Palms, California, with the story of our national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding General, Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, Brigadier General Clarity, and the officer in charge, Warrant Officer Wire, we present tonight's performance, written by Staff Sergeant Higgs, entitled, The Story of Our National Anthem. The War of 1812 was a nasty conflict between us and the British. In the summer of 1814, the British Army had burned down the Capitol and the White House in Washington. They were now set on taking the port of Baltimore. The port of Baltimore was protected by the Fort McHenry. It was here that many of my fellow Americans would fall, that would lead to those inspiring words of our national anthem. Francis Scott Key, a lawyer and part-time poet, was tasked to sail out to the British fleet and negotiate the American prisoners on a one-for-one trade. Unfortunately, the timing couldn't be worse, as the British fleet was already bearing down on Fort McHenry. The admiral of the British fleet agreed to the negotiations, explained to Key that he would not be able to go ashore with the prisoners until after the naval attack. Instead, he instructed Key to stay on the British ship and witness the shelling of the fort. According to the admiral, no one could defy the British Navy. September, the battle was over. Key, standing on the deck of the British ship, could see a flag flying over the fort. As the mist started to rise, he could clearly see the 8 red stripes, 7 white stripes, and 15 stars, large enough for the British Navy to see. He would later write, "Oh, say, can you see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. The rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?" As the men got back into the fort that night, the human toll now evident, the sacrifice paid. Many men and women of the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, and the Marine Corps have paid that ultimate sacrifice to keep our country free from tyranny. If you are a family member of a service member who has fallen in battle, please rise and be recognized as we dedicate this show in their honor. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we are prepared both mentally and physically to fight our country's battles whenever she may call. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and at sea. And while no one likes to fight, we are firmly dedicated to the belief that someone must know how. First, to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud of the readiness entrusted to us, and pledge ourselves to adhere to the standard of excellence expected of us. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine, and while we are few, we are many in ability, skill, and professionalism. We welcome and challenge all those who would join our ranks. We are the few, the proud, the United States Marines.
Hurrah!